Good morning, fish heads. Good morning, Dallas Cowboys fans. IndyCar Tim here. It's a Tuesday. Wake up early with us, 7 a.m. on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast. I'm IndyCar Tim. Good morning to you. How is everybody? I got my coffee. Got my Eagles green on today. I'm just kidding. It's not really Eagles green. It wasn't meant to be Eagles green. We just ordered a bunch of shirts with different colors, and this was one of the colors. And I wore it on my Tampa Bay show one day before the Buccaneers played the Eagles in a wild card game a couple of years ago, and got all the crap from the live viewers about supporting the Eagles right before the Bucs played. But it's not really what it was meant for. And it's just a coincidence we're talking to Nakobe Dean today. And it was next in my rotation. My dryer is broken right now, y'all. So laundry's a sketchy thing right now. I don't even have a dryer right now. I think that's one of those things you take for granted when you don't have one. But when you do, you just you don't even think about it. You just throw your clothes in the dryer and you dry them. But I don't have a dryer right now. So laundry is a very sketchy proposition. I don't know if I should fix it. Is that one of the things you can fix? It's not heating. It still turns on. It just won't heat. It as soon as you turn it on, the tumbler will start going. Everything's fine, but it just says on the digital display that it says cooling. It won't ever change out of that mode. So I don't know, it might be electronic or something. I don't know, but it's one of those things that it's like losing your wallet. It's one of those things that just pisses you off, right? Gotta deal with this now. So, yes, I usually put the Eagles green shirt, FanStream Sports shirt, at the back of the closet. But that's how deep I am in laundry mode right now because I don't have a freaking dryer. I hate not having a dryer. But good morning, everybody. Welcome in. I'm not going to throw my troubles at you for the first thing every morning. Who do we got in here this morning? I saw Steve in bright and early. Good morning, partners. The nice SOB is here. Good morning, Tim and Tolo. M. Stein, good Tuesday morning to all. Larry King is in with us this morning. Good morning to everybody. We're going to talk, Tim Arnold says a heating element. Everything I've read online says it might be a setting or something or maybe something electronic. I don't know that it's because of the thing on the mode on the screen that says cooling mode. Somehow it's stuck in cooling mode, and there's supposed to be a way that I can do that, but it requires me pulling the freaking dryer out from the wall, taking the back of it off. I just need to make a project out of it, I guess. Maybe we'll do that this weekend. We'll live stream it. Maybe I'll live stream me working on my freaking dryer. I don't know. Would that be something anybody would watch? Who was it that said, thanks for, Steve, thanks for wearing a shirt. Yeah, you don't want to see this thing without a shirt on. I'm telling you that, right? Between the open heart surgery almost 6 years ago now and the multiple stab wounds, by the way, guys. Yes, I've been stabbed 5 times in my lifetime. And some of those are visible in my chest. One's visible not in my chest. We won't get into that. Let's get into some Nakobe Dean, though, this morning. Appreciate everybody popping in live with us. If you're listening to the recorded podcast, I appreciate you just as well. If you're not able to comment live because you're listening to the recorded podcast, you can always reach us on the FanStream Sports Studio text line 24/7-214-937-0569. We'll see that. We'll reply to you. Just make sure you tell us who you are, where you're texting from, and what your question or comment is. We would love to hear from you, or find me on social at IndyCarTim, wherever you get your, wherever you see me, I guess is what to say. Rumors are heating up, boys and girls, and if there's nothing we love, it's combine rumors, right? Because everybody's together. Some of the veterans are there along watching the rookie, the almost rookies, the newcomers work out in the underwear Olympics. You've got agents there, GMs there, And the rumor mill just absolutely spins every year in Indianapolis. And with the Cowboys' changes on defense, and really they're changing culture, I think, is what's happening here. And I'm all about it. We're hearing multiple names. We've talked about Nakobe Dean. Just talked about him yesterday, as a matter of fact. But I wanted to spend a little time on Nakobe Dean today, why he might be a good fit, why the Cowboys might be targeting him, and why it might be a smart target for the Cowboys to target Nakobe Dean, and then why it might not be a smart target for the Cowboys with Nakobe Dean. So, of course, he's a free agent coming off of his rookie deal, came into the league in 2022, out of Georgia. We have the Georgia connection. Of course, we have the Christian Parker connection. And the reason I like Nakobe Dean is his experience with the system. Of course, Christian Parker comes into this thing with ties to Dean. You have that Georgia to Philadelphia pipeline that the Eagles have utilized, and though that defensive system is built on certain principles, and the systems are very similar. Nakobe Dean has played in both, and not just played in both, but he has been the defensive quarterback in both systems at both places and shown success, especially in college. You need linebackers who can communicate. You need linebackers who can play the run, linebackers who can cover, linebackers who can make quick decisions and execute things very, very quickly and communicate things very, very quickly. And Nakobe Dean has lived in that system his entire college/pro career. At Georgia, he quarterbacked one of the most dominant defenses in college football in recent memory. And then in Philadelphia, he stepped into that same scheme. And that scheme pretty much mirrors, I think, what Dallas is going to be trying to do with Christian Parker next year. I think all of that matters because when you install a new defensive system, as you guys obviously know, one of the biggest hurdles isn't talent. That is a hurdle, but it's not the biggest hurdle. I think when you introduce a new defensive system, the biggest hurdle here you have is communication. It's alignment. It's making sure that 11 guys all see the same picture before the snap, that everybody's on the same page. Clearly, last year under Matt Eberflus, we did not have that. Guys were lost. They looked lost. They played lost, and it showed. You can't have that again. And Dallas needs a guy who can understand the structure of the defense and who can communicate that structure quickly and trust the process. And another issue with the Cowboys is that position specifically at linebacker. They were horrible at linebacker. They were horrible in a lot of places, but especially at linebacker. So the Cowboys need a linebacker who can communicate, who can run this defense, call him the defensive quarterback if you want. And then they need some stability too. Right now, the projected linebacker room includes DeMarvion Overshown coming off an injury. And then you've got young developmental players like Shamar James. And then you've got depth players who haven't proven that they can be leaders yet. They might, but they're not there yet. And that is a very unsettled unit as far as I'm concerned. And look, Nakobe Dean, when he's healthy, he is a true signal caller. He is comfortable wearing that green dot. He processes information quickly. He understands all of the offensive route concepts. He's the kind of guy that plays with anticipation and not hesitation. He's not reactionary so much. But the elephant in the room with Nakobe Dean is and always has been injuries. And the NFL life for Nakobe Dean has mimicked his college life. He dealt with durability concerns when he was at Georgia, and those have not completely disappeared since he came into the NFL. Linebacker is a physically punishing position. These guys are taking on offensive linemen way bigger than them. They're sifting through traffic. they absorb contact almost on every single down. What has Nakobe Dean dealt with in his pro career? Well, of course, drafted in 2022, he came into 2023 as the Eagles starting middle linebacker. Week 1, his second year, suffered a foot injury and was placed on injured reserve a couple weeks later. Mid-October, he was activated and then played a month. Went back on injured reserve in mid-November with a Lisfranc injury, the foot. You don't like foot injuries with guys, especially really at any position. We say that, but came back 2024 in week 9, got his first interception. Woohoo! He's back, baby. During the wild card game last year in January against the Packers, he tore his patellar tendon in his left knee. Carted off the field. We know the rest of the story, that what the Eagles went on to do. We're not going to talk about that right now. Dean returns October of 2025, this past NFL season, in week 6. Over his career, 4 sacks. I'm sorry, last year, 4 sacks. Career 7.5 sacks. The numbers don't jump off the page, but I like the numbers. I don't like the injuries. But the injuries might be exactly why the Cowboys can afford him, if you want to go that route. But the Cowboys have to weigh this risk very, very carefully. But look, if he was a completely healthy player and his numbers jumped off the page, like a lot of linebackers, the Cowboys wouldn't be able to afford him. We'd be talking Devin Lloyd money. And I'm still a fan of Devin Lloyd. But Devin Lloyd's going to get $16 to $20 million a year. And I know Jerry Jones said he's going to break the bank. I don't think that's what breaking the bank means to Jerry Jones. I think breaking the bank for Jerry Jones means going out and spending 10 on a free agent. And because of Dean's injury history, that's probably where he's going to be. If you subscribe to the overthecap.com and spotrack.com theories, SpotRack and Over the Cap both have him valued at just under $8 million a year. I would make that signing today. Now he's probably going to get a little more. There might be a slight bidding war for him in free agency, but I think the Cowboys have an advantage because Christian Parker is here, and Dean and Parker, from what I hear, have a wonderful relationship. How much does that matter when a free agent's trying to make some money? Probably not as much as we think it does. But I think the Cowboys are more prone to go spend 8 to 10 on Dean than they are to spend 16 to 20 on Devin Lloyd, as much as I would like to have him. That's just not the Cowboys' history. That's not their model. Even when Jerry Jones says he's going to be more aggressive, we have to define what aggressive means here in Dallas, and I don't think it's 20. Nakobe Dean fits the Cowboys' profile more because of that, because of the asking price. He's experienced in the scheme. He carries upside, but then he's got that risk. And look, when I say risk, I don't mean like the Kenneth Murray style gamble on a guy that's purely athletic and maybe can't play football, as we found out. Dean's already shown that he can play football at a high level and in meaningful games. The questions around Nakobe Dean aren't his football IQ or his abilities, it's his durability. So, as we zoom out a little bit, why would the Cowboys prioritize a linebacker? Well, it's because of the new defensive identity. In previous years, the Cowboys relied pretty much on speed, on chaos, and on pressure. And under Parker, I think this defense will have way more structural discipline, more emphasis on filling the holes to stop the run, and a much, much more communication-driven style defense. And in that type of scheme, the middle linebacker is even more crucial than in other schemes. And if Dallas drafts a linebacker, wherever it is, that guy's going to need a tutor. Nakobe Dean's 25 years old. So he's the same age as some of these guys coming out of college this year. I think Nakobe Dean, the more you analyze him, could be a pretty good fit. Dare I say the perfect fit for what the Cowboys are trying to do at a reasonable price. And remember, Dak Prescott's in his early 30s now. CeeDee Lamb is in his prime. The offensive line is young but talented. This team is not rebuilding. They're just recalibrating a little bit. And if you add a player like Nakobe Dean, that shows that this team is able to sort of stabilize some areas of need without breaking the bank. So, it makes sense for me. The price is right. I like the player. Can he stay on the field? And as Jerry says, that's true of just about any player out there. And you're right, Jerry. Injuries are a part of the game, as you so eloquently targeted Micah in that failed negotiation. But, these things are real. Injuries are real. And when a guy's got an injury history, even if you want to call some of those injuries freak injuries, they're still there. And you still have to take those into consideration. So let me know if you guys are all for Nakobe Dean here. I don't know if you are. I certainly am. I have no problem signing Nakobe Dean. I don't want to pay more than like 9.5, maybe 10. Maybe 10. I don't know that I would go 10, depending on what else is out there. But I would certainly sign Nakobe Dean. Love to see him in a Cowboys uniform. Get him out of Philadelphia. Because keep in mind, you're not just signing Nakobe Dean. You're taking him away from Philadelphia. And anytime you can hurt Philly, who I think is going to have an incredibly down year this year. That thing's in shambles over there. It really is. If you put your ear to the ground and you... Here's a funny thing about me. I love chaos. Whether it's my own team or especially the teams that I hate, and there is no team I hate more in the NFL than the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not even close. I hate the 49ers probably next, but that hatred is not even in the same neighborhood, zip code, area code as my hatred of the Eagles. Everything I hate about them. Anytime there's chaos over there, it brings me great joy. So sometimes I search for chaos. I will tune in to Philadelphia radio. I will read Philadelphia homegrown articles about the Eagles because there's nobody harder on the Eagles than their own reporters. And it brings me great pleasure many, many times over to read about their fans turning on them. And make no mistake, the fans have turned on Jalen Hurts. And I want to turn this into a Eagles hatred podcast, but really I could do that any day. But it's fun to go over there and watch some podcasts and read some articles and listen to Philadelphia sports radio to hear how much they're slamming on the Eagles. It brings me great joy. Who else is in here this morning? Darnell, good morning to you. David Cowboy, good morning to you. All the familiar faces, well, I won't say faces. I don't know what any of y'all look like. Unfortunately, y'all got to see my ugly mug every morning. But all the familiar names. Mem 10188, Alante Taylor. No issues there. I trust. Steve says, I trust Parker to teach better than E-Butt Flush. You know what? That might deserve one of these. I haven't done one of these in a while. There you go. Yeah, that was funny, Steve, for sure. All right, I got to get kids up for school this morning. Sometimes they like to even eat. And then what I found out is I go through the trouble of making them breakfast before they go off to school, and then I found out they eat breakfast again at school. Like, what the hell, dudes? But yeah, I got to go wake kids up for school. I got to refill my coffee, and I got to get ready for the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. All the fun national sports stories and Tampa Bay centric coverage for you. If you'd like to find me over there, we have a lot of fun. It's a 2-hour show. We get into a lot of fun stuff over there. So otherwise, I will be back right here at 7 a.m. tomorrow on FanStream Sports and the Fish Report YouTube channel. You guys have a great, great day. I appreciate y'all popping in here with us. And think the good things for everybody else. Love one another. Love yourself. Till tomorrow, boys and girls. We'll see you.